Good morning, Phoenix Union. Let me start with thanking you once again for your continued support, commitment, and your trust in our leadership during these very unprecedented times, not just in Phoenix Union, but of course in our city, our state, our country, and across our globe. Last night on Monday, we made a decision to move toward a very modified work schedule here in the Phoenix Union High School District, where only critical staff and essential functions continue, yet most of our employees are assigned to work from home. More on that here in a moment. The decision to move toward critical staff only was because the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, otherwise known as the CDC, yesterday released new recommendations that social gatherings and personal gatherings should remain at 10 people or less. And so Phoenix Union thought that the only way we could truly ensure 10 or less around our entire system was to move toward a much more modified working schedule. We thank everybody for your continued flexibility around day-to-day changes. Let me tell you, this will continue. Day-to-day changes and announcements and shifts will continue to happen, not just the rest of this week, but we believe in the coming weeks here in Phoenix and again in Arizona. I do want to look back really quickly on Monday. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming into work on Monday. We actually had fantastic attendance yesterday, and we had a few really important goals and objectives and reasons why we came back. First of all, we know that we need to be prepared for a very likely long-term shutdown. What we know from trends and patterns across the country, what we know from medical experts, is that the peak of the coronavirus outbreak is very likely not to happen in Arizona for another 2, 3, 4, or even 5 weeks from now. And so even though we are, as a state, closed down till March 27th, it is very likely that March 27th in Arizona will be worse than it is today, and likewise into April. And so, as we've shared publicly on a few accounts, it is possible that we are moving toward a modified schedule for the remainder of the 2019-2020 school year. And in order to be ready for an extended break, Phoenix Union knew that it was important to bring staff back, to get rooms and facilities as ready as possible for a long-term break, to focus on and be prepared for the delivery of new academic models in Phoenix Union, to move us to an online platform where our students will likely have to finish their 2019-2020 year in a more virtual setting. We also needed to bring our staff back to make sure that we were ready to support our students. I will talk about here in a moment the fact that school systems have become a social service agency, and we needed to make sure that we were able to deliver critical services to our students. The announcement that we made yesterday was that our employees would have essentially one of two work options. You're either assigned to work on a campus or on a site, or you're assigned to work at home. Both of those individuals, both of those positions, job families, will both get paid. It does not matter if you are working from home or you're working at work. All employees will continue to get paid. We sent out a detailed FAQ, the frequently asked questions, yesterday. For very specifics, we ask that you go to that letter. But all employees, classified, certified, and administrative, will continue to receive regular pay. And at the same time, working from home or working from work or on a site means that everybody is required to and expected to work. Of course, work will look very different if you are on campus. We already know what those roles are. If you're a community liaison, if you work in food services, if you do maintenance and you're called in, we know what that work looks like already. If you've been assigned to home at work, your work may be very different. Of course, if you're a certified employee, if you're a teacher, that will look in some way, shape, or form like online or virtual learning. If you're a certified support staff, social worker, counselor, you may be asked to work remotely in that capacity. If you're an educational support professional and you're assigned to home, you may be asked to make phone calls to help organize food deliveries. It may come in various ways and various forms of work. But ultimately, we're going to ask all employees to come together on behalf of our amazing students. The reality is today that our kids need us. We need us, the 4,000 employees in Phoenix Union, we need us to support each other, to help each other, to guide each other, to be patient with each other. Yet at the same time, our kids need us. Whether you're assigned to work from home or you're assigned to work on a site, as I mentioned briefly earlier, the reality with schools today, this was not the case 50 years ago or 40 years ago, but the reality is that schools and school systems have become full social service agencies for our communities. We're one of the few institutions where families can come and get food, get educated. We provide transportation, we provide training, we provide parent classes, we provide clothing, we troubleshoot issues, we provide counseling and social work, and our communities rely upon us. Our kids rely upon us, our families rely upon us. And so as a district, we're going to continue to find the balance between how do we keep our staff safe and healthy and well, and yet at the same time not abandon the kids and the communities that need us most. And let me tell you, we have heard some remarkable stories over the last few days, some very heartwarming stories of staff at all levels, whether you're a classroom teacher, a maintenance worker, an assistant principal, someone who works in this building at the central office, coming forward and saying, what can I do to help our system start online learning tomorrow? The achievement gap is already wide. It cannot get any wider. We've had teachers come forward and say, I want to tutor. I might teach math at this school, but I want to tutor kids at any school. And I'll be available 24/7 to do all I can to make sure that our kids learn. We've had staff members say, I'm worried about my seniors. I'm worried about my juniors who have to take AP exams or IB exams, ACT, SAT. What can I do to help my kids prepare? I'm willing to come in. I'm willing to do my own virtual tutoring. Likewise, we've had many staff come forward to say one of the most heartbreaking realities of the coronavirus as it relates to schools is our seniors, our graduating seniors. They're likely going to lose prom, likely going to lose graduation, are stressed about not just finishing high school, but they were in the middle of their FAFSA. They were in the middle of scholarship applications. They don't know how to finish the registration process at college. And so many staff have come forward and said, what can I do to help those students? We've heard stories and stories about, can I deliver services to homes? Like, let me get in my car. I want to bring laptops. I want to bring food. I want to bring assignments. I want to meet with families. What can I do to get out into our community? I know that our kids need us. And over the last week, as heartbreaking as this journey has been, we have seen firsthand the heart and the soul of this beautiful district. And to all of you that have reached out, to all of you that know that this is a time that on one hand, we need to be selfish about our health, that on the other hand, we must be selfless about the service that we provide our kids. And for that, I am extremely grateful. And we as a governing board, as a leadership team, and on behalf of the 28,000 kids and the 50,000 parents and guardians that we serve, I do want to say thank you. We encourage you to continue to go to our website every single day. Our website is phoenixunion.org/coronavirusinfo. On that website, you will have information and updates from the CDC, from the school district. We may not produce a video every day, but we will and are committed to updating that website with the most relevant information, not just about what's happening around the country, but what's happening inside of Phoenix Union and with our work schedules. Trust, as I've said, that over the next couple of weeks, we will find the balance between the wellness of our staff and the needs of our community. I ask that you work really hard to be healthy, that you work really hard to stay informed, and then ultimately that you are good to yourselves, to others, to our kids, and to our communities. I know that together we can navigate these challenging times. And when social distancing is no longer a thing, I look forward to seeing many of you around the community and around our district.